Army Sergeant Bergdahl, who was captured and held by the Taliban for 5 years after walking away from his post in Afghanistan, pleaded guilty Monday to desertion and endangering his comrades, charges that could put him behind bars for the rest of his life. "I understand that leaving was against the law," said Bergdahl, who admitted guilt without striking a deal with prosecutors, meaning his punishment will be up to a military judge when he is sentenced later this month. The guilty plea brings the highly politicized saga closer to an end 8 years after Bergdahl vanished. President Barack Obama brought him home in 2014 in a swap for 5 Taliban prisoners at Guantanamo Bay, saying the U.S. does not leave its service members on the battlefield. Republicans roundly criticized Obama, and Donald Trump went further, while campaigning for president, repeatedly calling Bergdahl a dirty, rotten traitor who deserved to be executed by firing squad or thrown out of a plane without a parachute. Bergdahl, 31, has said he walked away from his remote post in 2009 with the intention of reaching other commanders and drawing attention to what he saw as problems with his unit. He told the judge, Colonel Jeffrey R. Nance, that he now understands that his actions prompted an intensive search during which some of his comrades were seriously wounded. "At the time, I had no intention of causing search and recovery operations," he said in court. "I believed they would notice me missing, but I didn't believe they would have reason to search for one private." Bergdahl, who received a promotion to Almost Engine Action Soldiers while he was in captivity, pleaded guilty to desertion and misbehavior before the enemy, a relatively rare charge brought against him for endangering comrades sent to find him. The misbehavior charge carries a maximum penalty of life in prison, the desertion charge up to 5 years. Bergdahl's answers to the judge's questions represented some of his most extensive public comments yet. He told the judge he tried to escape from his captors 12 to 15 times with varying degrees of success. Once, he was on his own for about a week, hoping U.S. drones would spot him before he was recaptured. He said he also tried to escape on his first day in captivity. "As I started running there came shots, and I was tackled by people. That didn't go so well," said Bergdahl, who spoke in even tones and wore a blue dress uniform. He also reflected on what he thought were questionable tactics by U.S. soldiers and their Afghan allies in guarding a remote crossroads that could be bypassed by the Taliban on other routes. He said the setup seemed to be a bit of a joke. Pressed by the judge about his actions, Bergdahl acknowledged endangering his fellow service members. "I left my platoon in a battlefield, a situation that could easily turn into a life-or-death situation," he said. At his sentencing, set to begin October 23, his years in captivity could be factored in, but the hearing is also likely to feature damning testimony from fellow service members. A Navy SEAL who suffered a career-ending leg wound, and an Army National Guard sergeant whose head wound put him in a wheelchair, would not have been hurt in firefights had they not been searching for Bergdahl, the judge has ruled. Earlier this year, the defense was rebuffed in an effort to prove Trump had unfairly swayed the case. The judge ruled in February that the new president's comments were disturbing and disappointing, but did not constitute unlawful influence by the soon-to-be commander-in-chief. Bergdahl, who is from Highly, Idaho, has been assigned to desk duty at a Texas Army base in the meantime. Follow Drew at www.twitter.com. John Drew.